Alright. Author vlog. Been a little bit since I've posted a real one of these, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. Um, oh man, a friend of mine always comments that my hair's gotten so much longer, and like, looking at the preview, it really has. I think my hair was like, I don't know, like maybe this long when I got it dreaded. I don't remember. That's probably too much. Anyway, so right now, a couple things. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to book, pun intended, locations to do like signing events and stuff like that. You guys know that I did one at the end of last year. I think it was in August, and I had a lot of fun doing it, and I learned a lot from it. I've never done anything before that point for something like this, and so I sent a message to like a bunch of, what was it, like one, two, three, four, maybe four local libraries near me, maybe five, four or five, um, asking, hey, do you have any events coming up that I could like pre-register for, get a table for, anything like that? You know, keep me posted. Some of them didn't respond yet. I messaged them on Facebook or I sent one in email because I'm terrible at calling over the phone and I feel really annoying. I hate calling a phone and asking questions like that, like, hey, whatever. I don't like it. And I've never had good luck with stuff like that, calling on the phone. So I sent the message because it's I know it's like good to be personal with something like that, but it feels very impersonal. It feels very transaction oriented. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But sign into my PC real quick. So I did get a couple of responses. One saying, "Hey, we do have something coming up in I think June or July 13th, I think." And this is like a town around me, a town called Ashland, and so I talked to them, and they said that they didn't have a lot of details for me, which was like, if you have this thing, then like, all right, so what do I need? Because when I first did the signing event, it was like, yep, this is the whole sheet. We need, just give us a picture of you, tell us what you're going to be doing, and we're going to put it on this advertisement. And just, we already have a table. Just show up with the things you want to bring, and whatever. They were, you know, it was a whole organized thing. And this was just like, yeah, we have a thing if you want to go. I went, okay. Do I need to bring a table? And they're like, yeah, it would actually help a lot if you brought a table. Okay. Are there other? How many people are going to be there? Do I have to like pay to reserve my spot? Can I tell friends and family to maybe show up to support? Like, give me something. Give me an event on your calendar on your website or something, so I know what the fuck to expect. Because if I show up there with a table and a big thing full of books and shit to sell, and then they turn me away because I didn't pre-register or because one thing or the other, it's like, it just feels so, okay, I guess I'll be there. I guess that's not until like June or July, like I said, whatever. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, I want that kind. I'm too nervous. I don't know enough about it. I haven't done it enough times to where I need to have as many details as possible. Let's crack open this liquid death. So that was one. I spoke to somebody today on the phone about doing, asking if they had events, and they said, we don't have anything right now. And usually this stuff is like really booked far out. They have like a 5-week straight running of like, and a big educational thing about like the Holocaust and all this other stuff going on. Like, it's like a 5 or 6 week long event for that. And I'm like, that's crazy, and that is obviously just coming up. So they're booked out until like May. And I'm like, hey, maybe we can make that happen. I'll see myself out. Oh, I can't go anywhere. So I'm on the phone with you. But he's like, we don't have any author events with other people, like no headlining authors, because that's what it was at the one I did before, was a headlining author, and then other authors would show up. You listen to him give like a whole speech about his book and about a bunch of stuff like that, and then people were allowed to peruse around and do their thing. And he's like, we don't have any of those coming up, but maybe you can be the guy. I'm like, huh? Maybe you can be the guy who is like not where I'm the centerpiece and other people show up too, but like, I'm just a guy that I'm doing a little speech or something. There's some dust on my desk. I need to really dust around here. Like, I'm gonna go up there and have like a whole thing talking about my books, and then like people are gonna show up, I guess, and they're gonna, I don't know. And he's like, we didn't have any solid plans. And he's like, people oftentimes will show up with like a story of this, that, the other thing to tell how they got into writing. Like, oh, I failed English, but now I have my master's and I've written these books. And I'm like, I was failing my senior year, and the story I've told 100 times of like, and because of this book series, I managed to graduate. And I was like, that's a pretty interesting hook I could go off of. And so we were kind of brainstorming that, just kind of chatting. He's a really nice dude, a guy named Michael. He's really cool. And but like I don't know what that entails. Exactly. I need to know, like, there's so much dust. I'm getting this. The lights are on in here, so I'm seeing all this dust on my desk. I really need to wipe it. It's so with the lights off, I don't see the dust. So yeah, like I said, I'm not the leader in these things. I'd rather be like ancillary to it. I'd rather be, this guy's here and these people are over here, and I'd rather be those people over there and just like, whoa, look at my table, I printed this out. So I don't know, that's like months out in advance that I can try to figure out. But something that is coming up soon, April 22nd. April already has two things coming up for me. I have a doctor's appointment. I have a doctor's appointment for like an endoscopy, I think. Check to see if your boy's got stomach cancer or something. And then the 22nd is a little poetry thing that same library is doing, where somebody's coming for their poetry book. It's like a poetry appreciation thing. And then it has an open mic where people can go up and they have like 15 or so minutes, or maybe less than that, to read off one of their poems. That's a short one, like 1-page long poems. And I'm like, well, I wrote a poetry book, or I wrote half a poetry book. So I haven't stood up in front of any audience since high school, and the one time I sang karaoke at a little tavern, and I wanted to rip my skin off. I sang Feel Good Inc. in front of a few drunk people, and feel good, help me. And anyway, yeah, so I've not done that before in a very long time, and being on camera is totally different. I can say the wildest shit here, one, because I'm in complete control. I don't have to put up anything, and I can cut anything I don't want to be heard. I'm doing a Minecraft series right now on my main channel, Linkin, go check it out. And the amount of times I've gone to make a joke and I either fumbled it or it just sucked and I just cut it is obviously way more than jokes that are actually kept in there. So being in front of people like that, I want to be myself and crack a few jokes and just kind of be silly wherever. But first of all, anxiety, that's not going to happen. And second of all, I'm too terrified of like a joke not landing in front of a crowd. Because I can at least, if a joke doesn't land around people I know, or like on stream, or like in a video, again, I can cut it, or I can detract from the joke and make another joke about whatever. But I don't know these people, and they don't know me, so I can't make crude humor jokes. I think it's all for adults, so I could be a little bit crude, but I don't want to give a bad impression of what I'm already walking up there. Like, I already felt out of place in that first authors event, because it was like, oh, these are just a bunch of normal fucking people. That's just an old dude who does photography, and he has a little photo album that he sells, and like, these are just like people, and I'm walking in here just like, yeah. That's just me. And like, I'm gonna get out there looking like how I look, and people are already gonna be either pulling out their crosses like that lady at Hannaford, or expecting something totally different, and I don't want to feed into that, so I just need to go up there and like be normal for them. So I don't know, that's really stressful, and I have to figure out what poem I would want to read out loud. I don't know, I don't want to come up there and be like, oh, this kid's emo, and then say something about self-harm or something in a fucking poem. They'd be like, oh, I knew it. So that's stressful, but it'll be really cool, because I need to make sure that for these upcoming events, I have a bunch of author copies ordered of all of my books. I need to go spend like $200 ASAP and buy a shitload of books. And now that I have more, I have Incarnation too, and I have the poetry books, so I'll be bringing what I'll do for that event is I'm not gonna walk in with a bunch of stuff. I'll probably have shit in my car and maybe a couple things in like a little bag or something, and I'll have a few copies of the poetry book. I'll have a few copies of Incarnation because it's my writing, but it's much shorter form, and I'll have a few copies of book one. I'd be like, this is what I was reading from. This is if you want to get to know my writing on a different level, and this is if you're committed, and I'll just hold my whole book, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'll be like, and this is what you're getting committing to, and this is one out of gonna be 10, and this is where you see my mental status completely fucking decline. So that's what I'll end up doing, and I'm looking forward to that. But that's all stuff that I was just looking at today, so who knows what's gonna change. I just want to update you guys on that. Also, when it comes to current writing projects, my current book, Vengeance, Bane of Apotheosis, Prelude, Omnibus is the name of the book right now. Because I think the last book is going to be called Vengeance, Bane of Apotheosis. That's the current working title. It's probably going to get changed because that's a mouthful. That's just like, what does that even fucking mean? You know? You go from Vengeance, Children of Faust, to Vengeance, Cataclysm, to The Garden, to Vengeance, Bane of Apotheosis. And then this is a prelude leading into that. It's like an extended intro sequence that just blends straight into that. So it's that book's prelude. So, and the prelude is called Omnibus. So it's like, I don't know how to fucking title this. Maybe I'll title it Omnibus, and then the subtitle is Vengeance, Bane of Apotheosis, Prelude, or something like that. Maybe I'll flip it like that, yeah. Instead of putting Omnibus at the end, I'll put it at the top. I don't know, but I'm working on that right now, and I'm actually in the edit phase where I just got to the end of it, and let me, I can't pull up, it's on my hard drive. I'm not going to open up my hard drive. I don't even know how many pages it is. I honestly haven't looked at the page count. I think it's at least 80 pages. I think it's more. I think it's maybe a little bit over 100. I have to look. I have to know right now. This is going to bother me. I have a little hard drive right here. I moved all my writing. I spent 2 hours organizing all of my writing stuff, like reorganizing everything. So let's go to the in progress document and see what the page and word. I think the word count's like 36,000 words or something, which is not that many, considering book one is like 250,000 words. But and I mean it's all Times New Roman 10.5. 1.15 spacing justified, all that good stuff. And then it's currently 11 chapters and goes to just over 100 pages on the first run through. So I'm guessing it'll be around 120 pages, something like that, maybe 120, 125. And this is post formatting. At least like margins and all that stuff. Who knows how that might change? I do believe the margins are set to custom, and they're pretty standard, 0.83, 0.3, 0.75 with the gutters and stuff. That'll probably shift a little bit. And then as far as the size, it is 5.5 by 8.5, so it's what I usually do. But yeah, so that's coming along real well. 37,000 words right now. And I'm happy with it so far. I just and there's a lot of poetry in it. Like, and the way I write is poetry in a sense. Like the way I describe things, the way I present concepts, the way I present internal monologue and internal strife and external expression of these things comes off as poetry. I try to avoid the just like, and that made me mad, and I jump into like the whole the levee of my mind snapped in a way that broke the interdimensionality of the blah, 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 blah. Just pretentious shit, but it's fun to write and it's fun to say. So, when I have to talk to them about like, oh, this is this is my poetry book, but like all of my writing is poetry in that sense. So I could take snippets, and I do often take snippets from like Devil to the Damned, and I just take that snippet without any context and like remove important character names and just like black them out so it's like ominous, and I post those snippets to places because what I wrote is just fucking poetry. So hold on a second. Sorry, I just had to tear my underwear in half through a wet, shaking fart. The liquid death is doing something. Water. So I don't have a timeline for when that'll be done. I still have to do a cover. I think I have an idea for what the cover would be, but I'm going to have to commission it because I will not draw this cover. I can draw like characters and stuff, but this is like objects, so I need to have like good references. And like currently the cover idea is it has something to do with like street lamps and different lights and stuff like that, like street lamps with different colors, and I don't think I can overlap those colors properly to make it work. And I don't know, I still have to figure it out, but I have to figure out the cover, and I'll get to the cover when I get to the end. So while I'm getting the cover worked on, I can go through and do all the formatting, clean up everything, and all that good stuff, and figure out the synopsis, and yeah, get that all ready. So, but that should be able to get finished and come out by summer, and then I will pretty much go straight to working on the next book. I'm not going to have any big intermittent break or anything like that. I'm going to try to get straight to working on the next one because it's so huge, and I'm still taking notes. Like, half the notes I'm taking on my phone when I'm writing notes about this book, half the notes are just being added to the notes I have for the next book. This next book has the most amount of notes I've ever had, I think. So it's a lot. Anyway, I think that's it for writing. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has supported me through license shares and through purchasing and through compliments for the 10th anniversary hardcover edition of the book. I'm really happy with how it came out. Talked about it before. You can pick yours up on Amazon. It's not on Barnes & Noble. I haven't been like keeping up to date on Barnes & Noble just because it's such a pain in the ass to like get everything uploaded and make sure everything's sized properly and for different sites. And Amazon is just, it's easier, but it still sucks. I know that lessens my chances of being discovered, and I eventually will go through and do all that, but I wish I had somebody to do it for me. So anyways, I'm really happy with how that came out, and I'm really happy with a lot of the support that I've gotten. So I'm gonna end this here. We're going on for too long. I just got home from work, so I'm gonna play some games and unwind for a little bit. And I have some changes coming to the TCG. Just a couple of ruling changes. I was having a hard time figuring out, well, if this player doesn't draw on turn 1, and then the next player draws, and like, can this other player declare attacks? Because then it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you get to have your first turn with no attacks, where you can do a lot of setup, get a lot of monsters on the field and set up a board. There's not a whole lot of board to set up, so I do think I want to make it so for the TCG, neither player draws on their very first turn, and you're open to attacking. It's like the person who's going first is essentially the one who's like in the context of two anime characters fighting each other to the death. The player who's going first has the advantage of basically getting like the jump on the other character. Like, oh, I start my turn and like I'm sneaking up on you and I'm getting the first hit. Now we're fighting. So it's like the other player doesn't have counter cards or stuff to set themselves up because they're being ambushed basically. And it's not like you can sit there and OTK, one turn kill. You can't one turn kill somebody in this game. If you could, that'd be fucking insane. I don't know how you do that. You'd have to do like 2,500 damage on average, which would be insane. So, but I'm going to change those rules, and that's my slipper on my chair. So, anyway, yeah, I'm rambling. Thank you guys for watching, and I will keep you posted on future events and stuff that I'm going to be doing. So, I will now reach for the camera to turn it off. Goodbye.